Good morning, everyone. Well, it was lovely to see many of you at church on Sunday, socially distanced, of course, masked up and so on. But I became aware in some brief chats that one or two of you have had a difficult previous week and maybe could have done with a reassuring hug or two, but sadly that's not possible in these times. Just want you to know that we hold you in our prayers this week, and hopefully we'll get a chance to chat a little more in the days to come. But you take care of yourselves, you know who you are. And yesterday I preached on 2 Corinthians chapters 8 to 9, which concern giving. In this case, Paul encouraging the church at Corinth to give to the struggling church in Jerusalem. And I briefly touched upon the fact that parts of these passages are used by the proponents of the prosperity gospel to justify their beliefs. And as I thought about what I was going to talk about today, well, this wasn't something I planned to do. But as I sat down to begin a recording, what I'm going to say, I felt compelled to do. So please forgive me if it's just me who feels compelled, and that it's not compelling from God. Sometimes we have to check out, and I might be wrong, but anyway, here we go. You know, some of you may have watched what's called the God channels on Sky TV, and occasionally I might watch them, usually sort of hopping between one channel and another, and mostly they don't appeal to me. They don't do anything for me. But I do know that many seek comfort and spiritual support from them, and I know that on some of those channels there are genuine people, genuine preachers who want to give the gospel message. But there are two main reasons that they don't appeal to me. Firstly, many are too slick, with huge audiences and a showmanship that make it seem like some sort of TV Saturday night entertainment. I don't like that slickness, but that's me, that's just a personal view. Secondly, and this is the most important reason, is that I think that many of them preach a false gospel, a gospel that we call the prosperity gospel. Now, many of you may know what this is all about, and forgive me if I'm teaching my grandmother to suck eggs. That's a strange saying, isn't it? Why would I want to teach my grandmother to suck eggs? It's beyond me. Anyway, I think it's important that we're able to discern things that may take us down false roads in our faith journey. Millions of people around the world give billions of pounds to prosperity preachers every year because they are promised, if they do, God will in return give them health and wealth. So, for example, any monies that you will give will come back 100-fold. So I send £10, God will give me £1,000. Now, on the surface, that, I don't know what you feel, but on the surface that appears to be nonsense, but it can be an attractive proposition. And I can understand people who are struggling financially or in ill health to respond to this promise. And so they send off the money with that expectation. We might want to believe it. We might be so desperate that we'll do anything to climb out of poverty or be free from illness. And this, seemingly, it's presented as being rubber-stamped by God. And who are we to argue with God? I watched one preacher who asked viewers to send money, and he would send them miracle water, that when they received it they would find their debt cleared and any ailments healed, even cancer. It was promised to cure cancer. Now you'd think that such claims wouldn't be allowed to be made on a public broadcast, but they are. They're made on a daily basis. You'd get away with that. An advertising company wouldn't get away with that, would they? And the prosperity gospel suggests that if we suffer, it's because of a lack of faith on our part. But the reality is, even people with the greatest faith, godly people, get sick, they get hurt, despite the fact that they have faith, strong faith. The life, the teachings and the death of Jesus clearly show that he didn't promise complete protection and safety and comfort from all the ills of life if you only have faith in him. Poverty is seen also as a lack of faith. There's no recognition that poverty might be caused by oppression or exploitation or any other reason. Their belief is that you need to believe harder, that you name it and claim it, and that's a phrase that's often used. You know, just simply, on just a simple level, my trips to Africa illustrate this to be a complete falsehood. Because when I've met the most faithful Christians that I've met there, the majority of them are living in real poverty. And I could never question their faith. Their faith was far stronger than my faith in the way that they responded to everyday life. And yet the prosperity gospel is taking hold in that continent. And that concerns me because the question I ask, is it really concerned with the message of Jesus? Or is it just seen as another marketing opportunity? And the prosperity gospel has powerful allies. President Trump's spiritual advisor, Paula White, is a well-known prosperity preacher. She has her own programs and so on and so forth. And I watched a video of her on YouTube of one of her programs, and she was telling her viewers to send in that month's salary to her or face the consequences from God. Something's not right there. The sad truth is that the only people who really prosper from the prosperity gospel are the preachers themselves, who live millionaire lifestyles, ride around in private jets, own multiple homes. No, the prosperity gospel promises a great deal, but it's not the good news that the gospel brings. It's a false promise, and it preys on those who are desperate and vulnerable. And we can all be susceptible to this. We can, in our lowest moments, we can grasp at things. But the gospel I see and recognize is one of God's love for us, one that preaches good news to the poor, of an upside-down kingdom that's beautiful and just and real, not full of promises or pie in the sky. That's a bit of a rant, isn't it? I don't know. It just feels important to talk about, to open up, to help us to be cautious of these things that might creep into our own faith life at times, our own beliefs. We have to keep our eye on God's love, God's message of love for the poor, for the downtrodden. That's it for today. I'll speak to you on Thursday, and take care of yourselves. God bless. Yeah, look after yourselves and look after those who are close to you. Bye-bye.